Hello and welcome to the Game Theory Podcast. I'm your host, Sam Vicini. Today, Brice Simon and I are going to dive into all of the quote-unquote veterans of Summer League, the guys that have been there for multiple years now, or at least this is their second Summer League at the very least. We will be talking about players like Terrence Shannon Jr., Summer League MVP Kyle Filipowski, Cody Williams will get discussed. We're going to try and be a little bit more targeted than we were in the rookies discussion, but I'm really excited to go through this, really excited to dive into it. But first, let's hit the music.
They do have a timeout. Decide not to use it. Way downtown. Bang! Bang! What's this going to be? Wow! Are you kidding me?
Hello and welcome to the Game Theory Podcast. I'm your host, Sam Vicini. But if you watch the tape, what you will see completely orchestrated this game. Brice, what's going on, buddy?
What's up, Sam? How are you? You'd be very happy with me, very proud of me. I've watched a Netflix series and Den of Thieves 2 over the last couple of days. Like I've dug in a little bit here in as summer's about to round
Den
up.
of Thieves 1?
Oh yeah. I loved it.
Yeah.
It was good.
What did you think of Den of Thieves 2?
It was good. I was cool with it.
Yeah.
It kept like I'm truly where like if you can keep me entertained for the entire time where I'm not like, okay, can I just get on my phone and play Clash Royale or something like that? Then I'm like, okay, this was worth my time. By the way, my Clash Royale squad, whatever you want to call, deck is really, really nice.
So this is absolutely one of these things that I have no idea what you're talking about.
It's
like I watched Tombstone yesterday. Like that's where I'm at. Like I'm good.
It's an app, like it's a gaming app. Like I don't know. It's not actually war or whatever, but you have little characters and you build them up and all. It's embarrassing that as a 38-year-old man, my deck is so good. Like my high school kids, we went to football camp and I saw one of the high school kids playing. I was like, hey, I bet you my deck is better than yours. And they're like, oh, no way. And I showed them my phone and they're like, oh. And that's embarrassing as an adult that it's as good as it is. Anyway, Den of Thieves 2 kept my attention, and then I watched Untamed on Netflix. Have you seen this? Heard about this?
My wife and I are in the middle of it. Yeah,
Okay,
we are
nice.
through the first 3 episodes. We actually quite like it.
Yeah, no, it was again, what probably a total of 5 hours or whatever it was. Kept my attention. I was cool. We watched 3 episodes the first night, and I was telling Randy like, "Hey, can we go ahead and finish this? Like it has me hooked to the point where I would like to finish this."
I love it. I'm in. Yeah, we my wife and I are enjoying it. We think it's like actually genuinely good. I mean, look, like the Australians love Eric Bana. Like that's the reality.
Yeah.
Definitely a real thing here. So we're excited to kind of get through the rest of it. We thought it was really good to start at the very least. I saw Superman yesterday, which is great. Superman is good, Brice. My goodness. And then I got the new 4K of Tombstone, which is, you ever seen Tombstone, Brice?
I have not.
This one, bunch of great mustachioed men, basically.
Yeah. It has definitely been on a TV that I've been in a room in before. I just like never actually I think I know the general premise of what the movie is about. So
yeah, it's great. Val Kilmer's amazing in it. Just like an all-time like shoot 'em up like stupid Western kind of.
Love it.
Okay, so let's talk about the NBA and its summer league that occurred about a week ago. It finally finished 4 days ago, but really like the bulk of it was about a week ago. We're going to talk about the veterans were at summer league. With the rookies, we were able to like kind of just go 1 through 30. Right?
Yeah.
We can't really do that with the vets. We have to be a little bit more targeted.
Yep.
We will not be talking about every team, guys. I'm sorry. Like there are just players that Brice and I like really want to talk about and we'll get through. I apologize ahead of time if we don't get to your team, basically. But there are teams that have like 5 players that we have to get to. There are teams that have no players that like were all that interesting, frankly. It's going to be hit or miss depending on how we go about this. So I'll give you the floor here. What team do you want to start with? Who is first in your notes?
Yeah, let's start with Utah. I feel like that's one. Cody Williams is legitimately the first name in my notes, and yeah. I just think that that's a good team because there are definitely multiple guys that probably should be discussed.
I think that is true. So they have the Summer League MVP, Kyle Filipowski, who was genuinely elite at Summer League. I wouldn't say he was the most dominant big at Summer League. I still think Drew Timme was amazing. But he had a real case for it. If you wanted to say it was Filipowski, I'm totally open to that conversation and think it was reasonable. He played 6 games over the course of both Utah, Salt Lake City, and the Las Vegas Summer League. He averaged 23 points, 9.5 rebounds, 2.2 assists, shot 53, 36, 72. Basically just completely dominated out there in any moment that he was on the court. The mix of physicality on the interior and real perimeter skill is very, very difficult, I think, for many Summer League players to be able to handle.
Yeah, I mean, that was my takeaway. Offensively, especially. I mean, I have it in all uppercase. Offense was unreal. Too good for Summer League. Unreal. He was very aggressive from the 3-point line. No hesitation. He did it in different play types. They ran a really fun flare screen, catch and shoot 3-pointer, out of timeout or whatever. It was the designed action. We've talked about this. This is why we like Will Hardy. We like these guys that get in the system. And a guy like Filipowski, who can, for a big, does some interesting things. He was trying to attack off the bounce and all of that. But because of his perimeter skill level and his ability to shoot the ball, it's really fun to have him in that system. He also did some nice things like operating from the top of the key with passes and all of that. Watching the Sixers game back, the athleticism of Adem Bona gave him some trouble on the defensive end, but offensively, Filipowski was just a monster all the way through.
Yeah, I mean, defensively, there were some flaws that definitely popped up, I thought, in general. Just the movement, continues to be a bit of a concern. I do think he is one of those guys that's kind of in the middle of positions, the 4-5. Kind of like Kelly Olynyk. I mean, Kelly Olynyk's always the guy that I've kind of compared him to. Yeah. Different in terms of the way that their bodies move. Flip is a little bit more power based. Kelly's a little bit more, balanced, coordinated, fluid, kind of whatever you want to say that is, right? But I do think that Flip is a real NBA player. And I think that he is a genuine, this could be a starter long term. I think is what I would say. This genuinely could be a starter long term for Utah. It might end up being more of he's a great 6th man.
Yeah.
Where he's a guy that comes in like Bobby Portis and just, knocks down threes and is super aggressive and, maybe can pass a little bit better than Bobby Portis and can do some things that way. Right. But I do think there is some starter upside here at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think I'm with you there. If you made me bet a significant amount of money to me, I would probably make the bet on the 6-man. I call that player a third big, and not he's not your third center. He's your third big. It's the Bobby Portis, Naz Reid role. Not saying he's those players exactly, but that role that against him is very, very important. We've seen those guys like that thrive in those roles. I think for me, what gets him into starter level is exactly what you said. What is your position? And if you're a 5, then you got to be better defensively. If you're a 4, you got to be able to move better offensively and maybe have a little bit more passing juice or something like that. So I could see the world where it ends up happening in the starting lineup. I feel pretty comfortable that Utah has a very interesting third big 6-man guy off the bench. And based on where they drafted him, Sam, that's really good value.
Yeah, and I will say he had a couple of big moments too where he needed to go get a bucket and went to get a bucket. The end of the Spurs game, right? They went to him for a bucket and he delivered, right? Just understanding the moment and being the guy. Sure. In moments that's what you want to see from guys at Summer League, the comfortability to just be the dude. I was completely fine with him winning MVP of the event. I thought he was absolutely tremendous. It is a little bit funny that I believe they went 0-3 in Vegas and he won the Summer League MVP award, but I don't really care, honestly. Like I don't. I thought that he was really impactful and impressive. And the defense is going to be the swing skill for him. If he can figure out how to like truly defend his position, either at the 4 or the 5, he is definitely a starter at that point. But if he can't, he might be more of a 6th man, and that's okay too. He will make like significant, substantial money and will be like an impact player as 6th man.
Yep, I agree.
I think the guy I'm most excited to talk about is actually Cody Williams.
Okay.
Like in the entirety of this, what we're going to do here when we talk about things, I am genuinely like pumped to talk about Cody Williams. I thought he was awesome in Vegas. I thought he was genuinely really, really good in Vegas.
Yeah.
You look at the numbers, 21 points against the Hornets on 19 shots. He started that game really poorly. And then it just felt like he kind of went, screw it. Like, I need to be the guy and like, remember that, I went in the top 10 a little bit, right? He had 22 against the Warriors. That Warriors Summer League team was pretty bad. Then he had 10 against the Spurs in a rough one, but then finished with 23 against the Wizards in a win. And then 26 against the Bulls. Consistently did a pretty good job on the glass in Vegas, I thought. 8 rebounds against the Warriors, 5 against the Bulls. Passed the ball really well, I thought, in Vegas. 4 assists against the Warriors, 4 assists against the Spurs, 3 assists against the Bulls. Consistently got stocks, consistently was rotating defensively. And frankly, he just looked bigger. And this is what we talked about all year with Cody Williams when we would do rookie reviews. He just wasn't physically ready to play in the NBA last year, and that's okay. I knew that when they drafted him, he was a project. I think Utah knew that when they drafted him, he was a project. But he looked stronger. He doesn't look totally like an NBA player yet, but his arms look bigger. I thought he looked stronger and thicker through his chest. He's never going to be his brother in terms of like that level of physicality. Like J-Dub's chest is just like an absolute tank. But just continuing to add and continuing to get stronger and more physical, that's going to make the difference for him. And we are already started to see it at Summer League that is making the difference for him.
Yeah, I mean, people probably know that to follow. Like, I'm a little bit lower on Cody Williams in general, going back to the first time I watched him in high school, even through Colorado, all of that. I will say, even though, and we talked about this on the rookie recap, that, when you get into those final 2 games of Summer League at Vegas, the rosters are something, but I will say this, the fact that he had multiple games with 19, 17, 16, 17 shot attempts, 11 threes in one game, 10 threes in another game, regardless of the competition, is a very big positive for me for Cody Williams. Because one of my biggest things with him has always been that authoritative play style. Like you said, I am a top 10 pick. I am going to go out and attack and be aggressive. And he just always set back a little bit too much for me. I'm glad you brought up the build. It was more. I had in my notes that I think it needs to be more yet, which you mentioned as well. I get very frustrated with people when they try to tell me that adding weight, adding muscle, etc. is low-hanging fruit and it shouldn't be a part of an equation or a scout. It drives me crazy that people think it's that easy. I'll actually touch on this when we talk about DaRon Holmes II later, even, because it's not. Yeah, you may be able to add muscle, but then can you still move the same? And so, like, that's
Correct.
the thing with Cody is it's going to be a fine line of, okay, he has a slithery movement style. You don't want to put so much mass on him that he loses that in his game. I'm sure Utah is very well aware of this. His representation's very well aware of this, but it is part of the equation with Cody Williams reaching who he can be.
It's 100% right. Like, it's way more difficult to add functional strength than what people think. Not everybody can do it. Like, again, like I think Holmes will be like a really good conversation point for us.
Yeah.
Because like that is an interesting frame to continue to break down, and Holmes looked great, but like it's an interesting conversation to have. Yeah, like I just think, I loved that Cody Williams came out and fired from 3, right?
Yes.
Like he didn't shoot it well in the first 3 games, but then got rolling a little bit in the last 2 games, right? He drilled 8 threes in the last 2 games that he played at Summer League, right? So I think that there is a real, like, anybody writing off Cody Williams, and I said this last year when he was in the middle of just like a catastrophic rookie season, anybody writing him off, I think is just like kind of out of their mind. And I don't really see why you would do it. I think the people that are writing him off maybe came in with greater expectations for him than what they should have as a rookie, understanding that like it just takes real significant amount of time to be able to add the weight that you have to wait to play, or that you have to add in order to play in the NBA.
Yeah. The other thing I will say is he showed off his versatility along with the mentality. So, just from one game, I remember there was a catch and shoot. He was off the dribble, had an offensive rebound, had a cut. Like, I really value that level of versatility in players. And so when he has the right body, which may still be 12 months away, when he has the right mentality, which he at least showed throughout Summer League, in all, 7 or 8 games, whatever he played, 8 games, I think it was, like, that all comes together really nicely for him. So I think it was a positive step for Cody Williams with a player who I think needed a positive step. Like some of these guys is like, like, okay, whatever, but with him, especially after the rookie year he had, after coming into the league where you and I think both knew it may be a little bit of a struggle, it was good to see a positive step with the body and mindset and mentality that he was playing with.
Isaiah Collier just felt like much of the same to me, which is totally fine. Like that is an NBA player, I think. When I watch Isaiah Collier, like I think that just his ability to get paint touches is very real. He can really pass the ball. Like that is a genuine skill set that he brings to the table that I think will continue to grow and improve throughout the course of the next couple of years. It's always just going to be, how does he score the ball? Doesn't elevate super high off the ground. Doesn't really have much of an in-between game. Definitely doesn't shoot it right now. But the paint touches are valuable. And he finds ways to be able to, use that like bowling ball frame. In addition to I think he has a little bit more craft than people think with his footwork particularly. Like, I think he is more than just like a physical dude blowing past dudes and using his frame to bump into guys and get some space. Like, I think he actually does have some real nuance with his footwork and pace to be able to go slow to fast and use that burst that he has to be able to get to where he has to go. But it doesn't matter that much in terms of his upside as a starting point guard if he can't score the ball. And that's really what my worry is with him right now.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I feel like, man, people probably think we just share notes, and I swear that we don't, because the first two for me on Collier is a lot of the same things we saw coming out of his rookie season. The passing and creation is interesting. How does he score? Is he able to knock down shots? I will say, defensively, and I realize Janai Broom is a rookie. He got matched up with Broom in the Sixers game, and Broom tried to start backing him down, and Collier gave up nothing. You talk about a certain build and chest and all of that. He does have this physicality that makes him interesting in terms of what could he provide at the point of attack defensively. And then he had a sick full court pass to Flip that just it kind of made me laugh. It was so ridiculous. Yeah. So I do think his passing is underappreciated at times. The assist numbers,
he's a sick passer. I think.
He really is,
genuinely.
Yeah. And I don't know that. I think it was a little bit more up and down. Maybe I'd have to go back through my scout notes on him, but like you said, the upside to become a starter, he just has to flat out score the ball better than what he's done so far.
Yeah. 39% from the field, 28% from three, 47 from the line at Summer League. Drew 5 fouls a game at Summer, or drew 5 free throw attempts per game at Summer League. That was serious. Someone asked about the difference between him and Jaden Ivey. They're just entirely different players. Ivey's a real scorer, whereas Collier is a passer playmaker. I think Ivey's skill set is just drastically more valuable, and Ivey can actually really shoot now off the catch, and I think has proven that over multiple years at this point.
Yeah, I don't think they're the same archetype of players. Jaden Ivey is very much an off the ball player, at least in a starting lineup in a lot of minutes. He can obviously play with ball in hand at times, but has really grown his shooting. And here, the other thing is Jaden Ivey is not the passer that Isaiah Collier is. He just straight up is not. So I think there's some pretty vast differences between those two archetypes right now.
Okay, Brice Sensabaugh from early on at Summer League. Any thoughts?
Gets buckets,
definitely gets buckets.
Yeah, I put Kyle Filipowski above in terms of the offense was unreal, too good for Summer League unreal. He was just making crazy shots. But he also He had a ridiculous behind the back pass that went into like the second row of the stands. It's like, okay, like I don't know about that. I thought he was
5
giving
turnovers in both of the games he played.
Yeah, I thought he was giving effort defensively, but it's like I don't know that there's a real impact coming there. So the scoring was cool. The scoring was fun.
I mean, that Grizzlies game was absurd. Like,
Sick.
just completely in control of his craft as a scorer in terms of the footwork, the driving ability, getting to the basket when he wanted, drawing fouls when he wanted. He drilled 6 threes. He hit 5 threes in the first game against the Sixers as well. Absolutely an NBA caliber scorer. It's just pretty glaring on the defensive end that it's got to get better.
Yeah. Maybe he should be mad that he's not getting $30 million a year offer from the Brooklyn Nets. Like, I feel like we keep rounding back into these same conversations.
Yeah, we're going to get in trouble here. We're definitely going to get in trouble for that one. Okay. Let's see. Any other guys for the Jazz that we feel like we need to talk about before we get on here? I'm good without any of the, like, I love Adama Sanogo, but
Sure.
like, I don't need to dive into the Adama Sanogo hive here.
Yep, I'm good.
Okay. The next team here is the Wizards. Let's talk about the Wizards, and I'll ask you, we kind of previewed this a little bit in our conversation that we had on the rookies, which, you know, if you want our thoughts on the rookies, again, you can go back. That is beautifully timestamped by producer Andrew GMAC. You will be able to find everything that you need in that rookies summer league breakdown.
I know where I want to start.
Who was the player that impressed you most?
I don't know about his overall play, but Kyshawn George on the defensive end. Like, if I was going to say, if you told me, Brice, you can say one thing about the Wizards non-rookies at Summer League, I would be like, hey, Kyshawn George really got after it on the defensive end.
Yeah, I thought Kyshawn was really good. I thought he was great on both ends, honestly. The passing, stood out in a real way. He had 6 assists against the Nets. He had 3 in the game against the Suns. Obviously was just everywhere with his arms and hands. I mean, look, man, I did not like his defensive tape at all at Miami. I thought he was like genuinely pretty bad at Miami defensively. Even this year in like the real NBA in his rookie year, I thought he was pretty good on defense. Like, I thought that he gave real effort. There'd be moments where he'd get like a little bit lost out there, but that's like normal for a rookie, and I wasn't that concerned about it. I thought that Kyshawn was really, like, for a rookie, quite good on defense this year in a really bad situation in Washington. And yeah, like, again, it's another guy where how does he score is going to be the ultimate question. Did have 24 in the game against the Suns to open Summer League, but I didn't think that the game against the Nets was good at all on offense. It's going to come down to the shot. Like, does he really shoot the ball at the level that he needs to shoot the ball? This year, he shot 32% from 3. I don't really think he has the burst or the wiggle or anything to be able to consistently get into the lane at all. But man, like, I thought that he was like really, really good at Summer League in terms of the two-way play that I saw. Even with the poor second offensive game, he was still really good defensively, I thought. Yeah,
I mean, it's funny how often we end up with the same conversations, and this one is revolved around making shots, especially from the three-point line, because he took 8.5 a game, so obviously willing to do so. Can he do it consistently? He was big on the boards. You mentioned the passing. We mentioned the defense. Like, somebody at his size with the skill level he does have, if he's also making shots, like, that's a real wing rotation player. And so like that was my big takeaway for him, was just like the defense, because I knew he could pass a little bit. Yeah, 100%. And that is exciting.
100%. Really, really exciting for him. I mean, do you want to go Alex Sarr next?
Sure.
What did you think? I'll kind of ask. I'll give you the floor on Sarr before I kind of jump in.
So I have the same worries, Sam, right? Like, it's like you don't necessarily do the big man things on the offensive end, and then you're not doing the crazy skilled things still. like even the short roll stuff, he had a couple of nice passing decisions out of the short roll, but in the one game I watched, he missed 4 short roll attempts, whether floaters or whatever. He was under 50% from the field in summer league. Like, I love that he can go Euro step floater and do some things that look cool, but eventually, and we're not quite there yet, but eventually he's got to start putting the ball in the basket. And I thought the defensive rebounding, which was a major concern, was a little bit better, but he still averaged less defensive rebounds than Kyshawn George. At the end of the day, he still showed some real high-level rim protection and rim deterrence, which is important. But I'm still concerned. Like, I wish I could feel better coming out of Summer League, like, oh, he shot the ball really well, or, oh, he was doing big man ball screen, paint relocation type of things better.
So I thought he was impactful around the basket defensively. Like, he averaged 5.5 blocks, in the 2 games he played at Summer League. Like, he was everywhere defensively on the interior. Like, he really, really blocked a ton of shots. The rebounding in the second game was encouraging. I thought, like, he did consistently rise up and like get his hands on the ball. That is one thing that has been a bit of a worry for me, has been his rebounding ability. Again, though, like, just offensively, he doesn't do the big things, right? The things that are just non-negotiables for big men, finishing around the rim, having a little counter on the interior, like that little floater that you mentioned, it still didn't look great to me. And again, like, this is another conversation where continuing to maximize what he can be physically is going to be the key, where you don't allow him to lose that athletic coordination and fluidity that already makes him so special. But also, you have to add weight.
Yeah. Like,
he is the player in the NBA, like, maybe above all, that has to add weight in order to be impactful and effective. And finding that balance, I think, will be an interesting moving target. The good news is that, like, he's represented by WME. WME has a longstanding relationship with P3 over in Santa Barbara. Like, those guys are literal geniuses at figuring this stuff out. Like, I think the world of the guys over at P3. Shout out to Adem, shout out to Eric. I think that, Marcus as well. Like, those guys are all absolutely freaking brilliant when it comes to, figuring out frames and bodies and everything. And like, he's already clearly gotten stronger in his added weight, and it still almost feels like it's not enough to me, is kind of my worry.
Yeah. I mean, he definitely has to. We've talked about it with him. I'm interested to see, like, I look at that roster and it's like, he's playing 100% of his minutes at the 5 next year, Sam. Like,
totally.
And so, like,
for the most part this year too.
Yeah. So, like, but I'm just like, there's no relief there for him. Like, he's gonna have to go through and figure it out, and he's gonna get an opportunity. He's gonna get the minutes to do that at the 5. And sometimes you have to feel it a little bit, and it takes time. Like, that's the other thing. Like, to your point, we can want him to be stronger, but understand that you may not be able to do it in, you don't even get 12 months, right? Like, these guys get drafted, they have a few months, then you hit an NBA season where, like, when you're actually playing the way Sarr was, I'm sure there's, like, it's impossible to actually be, putting that on during the season. Now he's had a couple more months, he could put a little bit more on before camp, but this is a process for him. I just want to see. I was so high on Alex Sarr. I think the defense has been what I thought it was going to be, Sam. I was higher on Alex Sarr's offensive skill level based on the flashes, and those flashes have not become consistent enough where I'm not out, but where I'm like, okay, I want to start seeing it be a little bit more consistent. You know what I mean? So.
Okay. So the next guy here will be AJ Johnson. Let's go with.
Okay.
Do you want to go Bub or AJ next?
I'd rather talk. I don't have a ton on AJ. I would rather talk Bub. So
yeah, I thought Bub's first game was really bad. Like, just really across the board, quite bad against the Suns. The second game I thought against the Nets was pretty good, actually. I thought that he stayed within himself. I actually liked that. Like, it felt like he was consistently able to, like, get paint touches in a way that was a little bit better than what we had seen previously from him. I felt like he was just an entirely like perimeter based player last year. Like really struggled to consistently get into the paint and be able to break down defenders in the way that you have to be an effective NBA player. Part of that strength, part of that is just his game in general. He loves to pull up from the mid range and be able to get to his spots. Right. But like, this is the craziest number to me. Do you know how many free throw attempts he played every game last year? Bub Carrington, like he played every single game, 82. Do you know how many free throw attempts Bub Carrington took last year?
I mean, I would say he took at least one. So let's go 120.
He took 85 free throw attempts in 82 games last year.
Wow.
At the point guard position, like handling the ball very regularly.
30 minutes a night too. I mean, that he played 2,500 minutes. Wow.
That's crazy. Like that's genuinely crazy. He has to get better at getting into the interior, being able to, navigate bodies on the interior, take bumps well. That's where it has to get better for him. I thought the second game was a little bit better in that regard. Like he took 5 free throw attempts in that game. Like I don't know if he took 5 free throw attempts in an entire NBA game, like through his rookie season. Right. So in that respect, I really liked the growth. Like I thought that was better. I thought like first game was like a total write-off. Like it was a mess and he did not really play well in any way, in my opinion. But I do think that the second game was a little bit better, a little bit more efficient. And, look, he's really young. Like I think he just turned 20, if I remember correctly. Like I don't think he was 20 at Summer League even, put it that way. Like literally just turned 20. And I think it's just going to take time. Like he's another guy where like physically he has to get stronger. Washington takes a lot of these guys that are like upside bets physically more than anything. And they hope that they can fix them in some way and, allow them to get stronger and then add to what they're capable of being. They always draft really, really young, as we've seen. So I'm interested to see what it looks like with Bub.
I want to be very clear. This is a very pro Bub Carrington podcast, and we love him very much. How many games last year, and I think this might have preseason games, how many games last year you think Bub Carrington did not shoot a single free throw?
I would guess 50.
It is right around 50. It was like 49. 49 games. Because he had, to your question, he had 7 games where he shot 5 or more.
Okay.
I wonder if actually, and I think the game he shot 7, this may have been a preseason game. I think Real GM still has preseason games. But yeah, like to your point, like
I can look this up real quick to see how many games he shot.
But
0 free throws. He shot 46 games, 45 games this year.
Where'd you do it that fast? What's that?
I did it on Basketball Reference.
Oh, the splits.
I used the game log and then sorted by 0
filter, and then it counts it for you. Perfect. So what I do like about Bub, I think he does the little things. Like it was Summer League and he's like getting rotation box outs and rebounds on the defensive end. That's something that like just I really love about perimeter players. The dribble jumper, you talked about that. I thought he controlled the game. Again, we don't share notes, but a lot of times we see a lot of the same things. I thought that was impressive, especially in the second game. Ends up being a rotation player at the very least. And then I just want to say, like, the start of the second half of that game, he had an assist, attacked a rebound, hit a pull-up 3, almost forced a turnover at the point of attack, and then had a shot fake into a mid-range pull-up jumper. Like, it just, when he's in control, he can really provide some real things while also acknowledging there's some real concerns about, like, the high-end outcome of what he could be for the Wizards. I mean, that's what's interesting about both of these teams we started with, Sam. We've done this with the Jazz. I guess we've done it with the Wizards a little bit as well. We like a lot of these guys individually, and I feel like the thing we keep saying is rotation piece, potential starter. Like the issue with those teams in general is none of these guys have we said number one option face of the franchise, right? And that's big picture for them. That's what's a little concerning. But as individual players, this is still really exciting for them.
Yeah, and like I'll give a couple notes on AJ Johnson here. Played better as Summer League went on when some of these guys started to sit, right?
Yeah.
Had 25 against the Jazz, had 20 against the Sixers. I still think people think of him, I think, almost as like this combo, like point guard. I don't think he's that. I think he is a scoring guard. That is just what he is.
Yeah.
Again, physically, he's just gonna have to get stronger. Needs to get just way bigger and way more powerful at the end of the day. Like, I don't know that I saw anything that makes me think that he's ready to consistently play in the NBA this year. I would guess he will be at Summer League again next year, honestly. But there are real flashes. This is why I ended up a little bit higher on him than what I expected last year. Like, I had him in the 30s last year, even though he did like genuinely nothing in the NBL the year before. There are flashes where you see just the fluidity, the coordination. He is explosive athletically. Like, there is some stuff there that he can do. And from an overall skill set perspective, like, if you give him some freedom to be able to go out and really create shots and, handle, I thought his handle looked a little bit stronger at Summer League, like just dealing with ball pressure, right? Being able to handle when guys like get into his shit a little bit. I thought that was really a positive sign. But at the end of the day, like, it is clear that like he was coming off the bench behind a lot of these guys, and I would expect that will only be exacerbated when he gets to the NBA, and you add Chris Middleton, you add some of these other guys like CJ McCollum to the equation.
Yeah, I mean, that's what's interesting about that roster in general is you got to play those two vets. We've talked about this. You got to play Corey Kispert, and then you have this plethora of other players in terms of Bilal Coulibaly, Cam Whitmore, Kyshawn George. You have other rookies, like just a lot of guys. So it's going to be interesting to see. And not all of those are overlapping positions. I understand that. But just in terms of there's only so many minutes regardless of that. So it will be interesting to see how Washington hashes that out. He's a guy that I remember the first time I turned on the film, I was like, this dude moves different, than a lot of, there was an explosion that not everybody else on the floor had. It was just about harnessing that and figuring it out. And he's a young kid and he still has the potential to do so. But 37 minutes in, the theme of the pod, even for non-rookies right here, has been like physical profiles matter. And whether they come in with it or whether they're able to develop it, this is an important part of this, the very physical game of the NBA.
Completely agree with you. Do you know another thing, though, that I agree with, Brice?
What's that? Do you have it pulled up today?
The fact that coffee is an important part of your day.
Starts my day every day.
Whether you're gearing up for back-to-back meetings, shuttling kids back and forth to activities, or tackling an endless to-do list, these are all things that Brice has to do every single day. I don't know how he does as much as he does. Your morning is going to set the tone for it all. And that's why it has to start with the perfect cup of coffee crafted just for you. Trade is the #1 U.S. coffee destination, bringing you fresh coffee from over 50 of the country's top roasters. Trade's experts have taste tested thousands of coffees to curate over 450 amazing roasts. Whether you're new to coffee or your favorites, they're going to handpick the best coffee just for you. They're going to give you cold brew in those hot summer days. If you already know what you like, they'll be able to kind of steer you in the right direction. If you like a berry flavor, if you like a caramel flavor, if you like a more chocolatey kind of blend, they're going to be able to match you with your perfect coffee. All you do is you just take their quiz, and if that first bag isn't quite right, Trade is going to replace it for free until they nail it. Trade's prices are on par with grocery store brands, but the quality is just next level. Plus, you're supporting local roasters. It's a win-win. Right now, Trade is exclusively offering our listeners 50% off your 1-month trial at drinktrade.com/game. That's drinktrade.com/game for 50% off your 1-month trial. Drinktrade.com/game. Okay, Brice, I will give you the floor on what you want to talk about next.
Let's see where I go in my notes after that game. Who else did we play here? Let's go Philly is actually the next one in my notes. You want to go there? Justin Edwards?
Sure. I'm into it.
I mean, I think that's about all we'll do there. Like, we can talk a little bit Adem Bona. But that was the next one that came up for me as I just went through the order of my notes.
What did you think of Justin Edwards?
So first, I really like the rookie season he had. That was a guy we talked a lot about throughout the draft process. Obviously, a guy that started out the year high and then dropped. I think he's a guy that ultimately knows who he is, Sam. Like when you look at his shooting percentages, he's 33% from the field while being 41% from three, which is just insane stuff. Took 7 threes a game, knocked it down at 41%, which is the important number there, because I think in the NBA that's what he is he's a shooter, and that's what he's got to be able to do. And so I think continuing to do that, staying in his role, defend, you can be a rotation wing in the league if you can do those things as well. Obviously, you would like him to finish 2-pointers at a much better rate than what he ended up doing. Just a true off-the-ball player, though, and that always stands out, that he kind of understands who he is and is trying to fill that role in a way that keeps him around in the league.
Yeah, I love that he just fires from three, right? Like he took 6 3-point attempts per game at Summer League and hit 40% of them. This was not a great Summer League team, in my opinion. Once VJ went out, you could even just see like the difference in them when VJ was back in that last game against the Wizards, right? Like they beat that Wizards team, and it was a makeshift Wizards team for sure, to be clear. But I thought that he looked just like when he had like another creator out there where he didn't have to do even, a small amount of shot creation, even though he like did very little of it throughout. Like not even having to do a small amount of it, I thought made his life way easier. And I thought it just looked way cleaner for him. He had 17 and 8 in that game with VJ on the court against the Wizards in that final Summer League game. And then against the Jazz, he had, I believe 13 in that first Summer League game. Where, if I remember correctly, that's the one where VJ had like 28 or so and really went for it. I think that a lot of that was in transition as well. I thought defensively he looked pretty solid. Again, like I think he has a chance to be a rotation player. I don't know how much he's going to play this year is kind of my thing. Like I'm not totally sure about that yet, but I do think that he has a chance to be like a 9th man or an 8th man for them.
Yeah, I guess I had given just the Vegas stats. So, like, the full thing is still similar whenever you go 6 games. He still shot 41% from 3 and under 40% from 2. But you mentioned the volume, which was good to see. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what that rotation, right? Like, Oubre's still on the team right now. Obviously, if Paul George is healthy or not is a huge factor. How they hash out playing all 4 of those guards with VJ. I could still see him getting some minutes here and there, like even if he's the 11th man, Sam, there's going to be a lot of nights where that gets pushed into the 10th man spot. So I just, for a guy that was as highly recruited and ranked and as high, I kind of have a soft spot for Justin Edwards in terms of like, it looks like he's figuring it out and accepting his role and trying to thrive in his role.
Yeah, I love it. I really do love it. The other guy that I'll mention here is just Bona. Looked super active and aggressive defensively. Offensively, it's a real work in progress still, even. But that guy plays super hard, and he's a real athlete, and he has a chance to at least be impactful. I do think that Janai Broom is, probably ahead of him already if you made me bet. But like, there's something there at least.
Yeah, like if Adem Bona is my 3rd center, I feel okay, right? Like I talk about this role a lot.
Really, he's their 4th probably because they still have Drummond on that team somehow.
Yeah. So like that's a really good spot. Like if you're Philly, he's interesting, super athletic, super energetic, like all of that. If you need that for 10 minutes every once in a while, great. That's a good person to have on your roster.
All right, let's go to Minnesota next.
Okay. Yeah. This is where we should have gone.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, there's no order here. Like we can just kind of jump around.
I know. It's just like, this is the team. Like this team has like 5 dudes we're going to have to pause on for a little bit. So,
yeah. So Terrence Shannon Jr. goes for 3 games, 20 points, 24 points, 24 points, shoots 47, 39, 95. 6 rebounds, 5 assists. The Shannon conversation's interesting because he was awesome at this level. Like he was, it was impossible literally to deal with him in any way, shape, or form athletically.
Yeah.
He is so explosive. He's so fast running the court. He is a monster in transition, and a lot of these games end up being transition games. Did you see anything that was new from Shannon? I guess that'd be my question.
No, and I mean, he made shots at a really high level, and so like that's the thing that probably stood out the most. And I know like the caveat, I gave it the last episode, like this doesn't always translate, and so like take it a little bit grain of salt here, but I mean, across the board, 48, 39, 95, got to the free throw line a lot, but no, like here's what I struggled with some of these guys, Sam, to be quite frank. It's like, why am I valuing Summer League and giving analysis on them in Summer League when I've seen them play in the playoffs? And like, that's what with some of these guys, it's just like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? And so it's
Terrence looked so far above this.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he just looked so far. Like Jaylen Clark, I've said like Jaylen Clark, I think probably plays, semi-real minutes for Minnesota this year because the defense is just so good, right? Yeah. And he should be able to come in and like hopefully replace some of those Nickeil Alexander-Walker minutes. But like he didn't look above this.
No.
You know what I mean? Like he didn't look like he didn't belong here. Like Terrence looked like he didn't belong at Summer League.
That's fair because like going into the offseason, Shannon Jr. probably had was the front runner to take on the Nah role. But like I thought, like coming out of this, I'd be like Shannon Jr. definitely is getting first crack.
No, he's the guy.
Yeah, he's getting the first crack at the Nah minutes. And not solely based, I think he was anyway, but if you just went based off what we saw at Summer League, like you said, he looked way too good for this.
It's a more, it's an easier fit in theory to slot Jaylen Clark into that role as opposed to Terrence, because Jaylen does exactly what Nickeil does.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like he's a great defender. Nickeil's way more capable with the ball in his hand than what Jaylen is. And like, I think Nickeil's offense probably goes a little bit more underrated.
I agree with that.
Than it should. But like Jaylen is like pure 3-and-D, whereas Terrence is like, whirling dervish of athleticism who like flies around the court and like, literally injured Micah Peavy by accident just by sprinting into his back the one moment at Summer League, right? Like, I thought Shannon, for a guy that in general this year, like if you go back through the regular season, didn't play crazy minutes. Like, do you know how many minutes Shannon played in the regular season this year?
I like I said, probably less than 500, 700.
Yeah, he played 330.
Oh, wow.
This year. And then like went into the playoffs and played, some minutes, right? Like here and there, he played 57 in the playoffs. Like there were a couple moments against Oklahoma City where he was pretty okay. But for a guy that only played 300 minutes, I thought was really, really good in this Summer League environment. And you would expect him to be good. He's, 24 or 25 now?
He turns 25 in a week. So yeah.
Yeah. So like you would expect him to come in and be better and above this than a lot of guys. But in the game fits exactly what Summer League is.
Yeah.
In such a big way. But I think the fact that he showed it and consistently showcased that he was above the level and only had to play 3 games and they were able to call it with him after that, I think is a great sign for Minnesota. And I would expect that he plays 1,500 minutes this year.
Yep. No, I agree. He was good. He was good. He was very impressive. He knocked down shots. But I'm not walking away like surprised by that in any way.
Yeah, I didn't walk away surprised.
I think that's a compliment to Terrence Shannon Jr. as well. Like that's not a knock. It's a compliment of where I feel like he is as a player.
Okay. Next player here is Rob Dillingham. I don't really know. I don't know what to say about Rob on some level because he was not particularly efficient at Summer League. I didn't think. Didn't shoot the ball well. Obviously, like he made 3s in that first game against the Pelicans, but went 4 of 14 overall. Second game against the Nuggets, 2 of 6 from 3. Only went 1 of 6 over the course of the next 2 games and 57 minutes from 3. I thought that the passing looked better.
Sure.
But there were also a significant number of turnovers where I felt like the process was not great for him. It felt, I guess in general, that was kind of my takeaway. He is so skilled at this level that he's going to be able to like get buckets and like get past this man kind of whenever he wants. But I didn't think the process was great. Like we'll talk about Reed Sheppard later. Like it's very clear to me with Houston that Reed that Houston told him like, just go and get as many shots as you want and like go and try and create as much as you can. Like that, this is your thing. And in the first game it looked great. In the second game against Detroit, it was like so-so, right? With Rob, I don't know if I can pinpoint exactly what that process was that they kind of told him to do. And I'm intrigued to kind of hear your take on it, I guess.
Yeah. So I told you, we talked a little bit about this before. Like, I think he was a handful for teams to keep in front of them. That's like straight from my notes from the Pistons game. But then I thought he struggled to convert on those drives, whether it was the passing or the scoring. Like I thought it was an all around inefficient outing for him. I mean, even if you just look at the numbers, Sam, he averaged less assists and more turnovers than his rookie year at Summer League. And the efficiency scoring went up, but nothing crazy. Like if anything, he got to the free throw line a little bit more and shot it better there. So like you said, the skill level is real. I was always, I think you were as well, like a little bit lower on this. I always push back like on the size and then what does this act like? I didn't walk away from that going, hey, you know who shouldn't start next year? Mike Conley. You know who should start in his place? Rob Dillingham.
No.
I did not walk away from Summer League. Like, I don't know that I would go into the
honestly,
season anyway.
Yeah, I walked away like wondering how many minutes he plays next year. Yeah, and like he might be able to be the backup point guard. Like I would love to see it, but yeah, like the process in terms of like this is the best way to put it. Mud Dog 13, shout out Mud Dog 13. Rob's a score first guy. He's trying to focus more on playmaking, defense, get himself on the court. He's learning to try and balance the defense and playmaking while maintaining his offense. It felt like that to me, that he was trying to maintain that balance and trying to like figure out that balance. But I don't know if he has it yet, I think would be my thing.
So I think that's fair. We talk about this all the time. It's funny how many of these themes continue to come up. Changing a player's mentality is not as easy as people think. You know, like we talked about how changing a player's body and managing how much you're going to add to it while keeping flexibility and mobility. I think changing a player's, like if Rob Dillingham is a score first player and you're trying to completely change that mentality, do something different, that is not an easy process. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm saying it's not easy because he has played a certain way his whole life, and there's a lot of minutes and a lot of games of him playing that way. So if that is what they're doing, it's probably not going to be this year, Sam. I don't think that's a 1-year conversion for a young player, especially one that's battling size differences. And I think that's fair to bring that up. So I'm with you. Like, I don't know what the rotation looks like. Like, I don't know if he ends up playing the amount of minutes that maybe I would have guessed when he got drafted and they spent that draft capital on him. I knew it wasn't going to be year 1, but I figured it'd probably be year 2. It may still not be as many as what I think even this coming year. Yeah.
It wasn't terrible for Rob. Like, I want to be clear about that.
No.
Like, he played fine.
Fine. He was fine. Yes.
Yeah. And definitely took a lot of shots. Like, he took 17 shots a game at Summer League. Like, he was really getting it up. And it's the same. Like, I still just don't know that balance is quite there yet. I'm interested to see what he looks like this season in the minutes. And if they give him minutes, honestly, can he earn a spot? Like, he's going to have to earn a spot in training camp in their rotation, I would guess. And, you know, we'll see if he's able to do that. Right now, I think I would be surprised just given their depth. Like whereas Terrence Shannon looked like a guy who's like definitely in their rotation day one. Like, so did you think Berenjay or Dillingham was more impressive?
Um,
I thought Rob was better than Baron J. I will say that. But like for what we expected coming in, I think I expected more from Rob
that's fair.
than I did from Baron J.
Yeah.
And
so I was trying to twist the question to like who would you trust more to come off the bench on an NBA game tomorrow? Like who do you think would be more impactful? Rob playing backup point guard or Baron J playing backup center? 12 minutes. We need 12.
Probably, honestly,
we need 12 minutes tomorrow, Sam, in a backup role. Who are you more confident will fill that specific role?
Probably Baron J.
That's what I'm like. The fact that you even have to think about it a little bit in that context is what I wish that wasn't it. Because you're right. Dillingham was better in general. But it's like, okay, for the role that he's going to be asked of, like, who is he ready to do that yet? I don't know. I wish I felt better about it coming out of Summer League.
So this is the real question, right? So we have to talk about Jaylen Clark here, right?
Yep.
Would you trust Jaylen Clark in a role or Rob Dillingham in a role next year?
I mean, I think it's
that's actually who he's competing against.
Yeah, because Dante's gonna get one of those spots as a backup or whatever. Going into the season, I think I would give Jaylen the first crack because of what he does defensively, his physicality, all of that. And if he just flat out can't make shots to keep him on the floor, then I would, after 30 games or whatever, then I would transition to Rob and see if Rob could give us something different. Because at the end of the day, Clark's got to make shots to stay on the floor in the playoffs.
Correct.
And so, like, I think I would give Clark those first minutes.
And I feel like we're being harsh on Dillingham here, and I really don't mean to be necessarily.
Sure.
It's just that this is a team that has made the conference finals in back-to-back years, and I think that, they traded, what is it, like a 2031 swap and a 2030 first or something.
Yep.
Like they gave up like real value to get him, hoping that in year 2 he would be able to be like
Correct.
a genuinely impactful player.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like I kind of wonder if Jaylen Clark's going to be the guy that is able to like make it work.
It's a great point in terms of like back-to-back Western Conference Finals, and they're essentially running it back minus Nah. And so it's like, they got to find that one spot, right, to replace him with some minutes, and it will be interesting. I do feel like maybe it's probably coming off harsher than what I intend it to be, because it's not like he was just dreadful, awful. It was just a little bit more like in a year 2 situation. I wish it would have looked a little bit easier, a little bit more efficient. Not even easier, because he does make it look easy because he was able to go by a guy. I wish it would have been more efficient on the back end after he broke down the defense.
Yeah. I mean, Jaylen Clark's just like not a summer league guy. Like it's fine. Like, I don't know that we need to like really dig into that much more than we are. Great defender, had 2.5 steals a game, had 2.5 assists per game versus only 0.8 turnovers. Like I thought that was actually like the process for him was a good, improvement, but it's just not, this is not his environment to me.
Yeah. I mean, the thing with him, it would have been nice if he made shots, right? He got up almost 6 a game, which is good. I like the volume and the willingness to shoot. Shot 30%. Like, he's got to make shots during the season because we know he's going to defend his ass off.
Yep. Okay. Final guy here. I think the people want to know my take on Leonard Miller.
I would love.
I thought Lenny looked a bit more. It's hard because he averaged like 17 and 9 or whatever. Like it's very similar to Rob. Like he was super productive. It's just that I really worry what the role is. And I thought that he didn't have a whole lot of chemistry with like anybody on the court. Kind of. Yeah. Like he felt like he was doing his own thing a lot of the time. And that's really my worry with Lenny. A lot of it is kind of in transition and he's kind of doing his own thing. And he's kind of like, in the half court, like, what is he doing? Is he just in the dunker spot? Is he like picking and popping and missing pick and pop threes? Like, I'm just not sure what the role is for Lenny. And that was always the concern with him. I still remain concerned about that, I guess I would say.
Yeah, it's interesting with him too, because like he's not in the rotation going into the season at least. And it's like, so this is another year where he's, not even coming off the bench, like not getting a ton of minutes for this team. And at some point you would like him to get those opportunities, but I'm kind of with you. You just look at the box score numbers. I like the physicality he plays with. I love the way he attacks rebounds. I'm just not sure I buy into the offensive skill level enough to really get that excited.
I would guess that. So he has like half of his deal guaranteed, I believe. It's not like fully guaranteed. I would guess that given their financial situation that he's
sure.
No, it's fully guaranteed now. I lied. So once he got past June 30th, it's fully guaranteed. So yeah, he's fine. But yeah, like I'm still trying to figure out what Lenny is, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. So I mentioned Reed Sheppard. So like, let's just do Reed Sheppard now.
Okay.
I thought Reed's first game was like fucking lights out.
So real quick, this is going to be fun because I did not see that game. I was watching the Young Hunson experience, and then I watched the not so good game against the Pistons. So this will be interesting.
Yeah, Reed's first game was fucking lights out. He had 28, 8, and 4 assists, and 4 steals, and 3 blocks. And I shit you not, he had 4 assists in this game, and he should have had 10. Like, the way he was just slicing this team up, like he got wherever he wanted against the Clippers. It was ridiculous. They had no chance to deal with him in ball screens. He was throwing cross corner kickouts. Like he threw cross corner kickouts like 3 possessions in a row, like coming down the court. And then in the third quarter, he explodes. He has like 15 in the third quarter and just like completely goes off. He has 28 points. Like Reed was awesome in that game. The second game was worse. So you watched the Pistons game. You were there for that. I was also there for that. I was courtside for it. I think that people like way over exaggerated how much the ball pressure bothered him. Honestly, I thought that like he was fine getting to where he wanted to get to and just kind of missed shots at the end of the day. He went 6 of 19 in that game. And I guess you can say that like he got contested on a lot of those shots and like they made his life harder. Like Daniss Jenkins, I thought did a really good job. I thought Daniss, like we're going to talk about Daniss Jenkins. Daniss Jenkins is a dude to me.
Yep.
In some respect. But I thought that he actually like dealt with the ball pressure fine. It's just he had nobody else on that team. Like he was literally their only ball handler who could like do frankly anything outside of Kennedy Chandler. And like Kennedy was his backup. Like they were trying to play him and Reed together because I think they realized that Reed like was out there by himself for a lot of the time. And it was like it was Nafali Dante. It was Jermaine Samuels. Like it was, Cam Matthews and Kevon Harris out there a lot of the time. And then Nafali Dante like can't dribble. So like you can't really even short roll him all that much there. It really did feel like someone said, RTC says it was 1 versus 5. For a large portion of that Pistons game, it felt like it was 1-on-5. And the other thing I will call out here, and this is me being like super specific, holy shit, were the Rockets bigs awful at screening. Reed is like a guy who does need, separation, right? Like he needs that screen to be able to operate. They were fucking abysmal at screening for him.
Well, and I will say that is, again, we'll have to do the Daniss Jenkins thing later. That is one of the things Daniss Jenkins does really well. And so especially if
I thought, for what it's worth, like I thought Daniss was better than Reed in that game. Like I thought Daniss was fucking awesome in that game.
Yeah. Like I'm getting, I usually don't take much away from Summer League. Like I mentioned, like, hey, if Detroit wanted to put him as like the 14th player, like give him a roster spot, like I wouldn't like fight. Like if you can keep him on a 2-way, then obviously that's better. But he navigates screens very well. To the commenter's point, I take very detailed notes. You know this about me, even in Summer League. I'll get like 3 pages of notes from a Pistons game. Reed has a bunch of notes, and Kevon Harris is the only other player on the Rockets from the game that got a single note. Like you talk about teams that aren't very good. Like I always bring up the Knicks, like that Summer League roster was not good. This roster is, for as much young talent as they have, it's just all NBA young talent. It is not Summer League young talent. I would say my biggest disappointment with Reed in that game was I thought there was some bad decision making, some questionable decision making, and then there was a couple times defensively, especially early in the game, where like on off ball, like he just like got caught ball watching and stuff like that. So
this I agree with. I thought he was actually really terrible in that game off the ball defensively.
Yeah. So like those were my takeaways. Like I think with that said, he still did some of the defensive disruption stuff and all of that. He looked to me like a player he looked a little bit frustrated of the situation he was in the Pistons game. I
thought so too.
So that's the nicest way I'll say that. He looked frustrated with his situation.
Well, like there are these moments with Reed where like you just want to bottle it and be like, why can't you do this all the time? Yeah. Like there are these moments where he seems to get pissed off and he's just like, all right, I need to go do this. Like I need to handle this now. Right. He's like a super low key guy. Like, you know, the folks in Houston, the folks at Kentucky will tell you like great dude, just like very low key, very chill, kind of has like a Klay Thompson-y vibe where like the heart rate like never gets above at that, like, you know, 50 or whatever it is. Right. Just a super like chill dude. But there are these moments where you can see it where he gets super fucking frustrated. Yeah. And like it happened against the Clippers and he just went out and banged like three threes from like 30 feet. And it was great. And then there was another one against the Pistons where I think the ref like missed a call on him.
Yeah. No, there was yep.
And he got super pissed for like 5 minutes and then just went and was fucking awesome. And then like the rest of the game, like he was just kind of, you know, okay, whatever. Like I'm here kind of by myself a little bit and like looked a little bit, I don't want to say out of it because I think that's unfair, but like didn't look great, I think is what I would say.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like he was definitely a little frustrated with some of the calls that he wasn't getting. And I think it got to a point where I think that's where some of the bad decisions, like he threw one just out of bounds. And then there was a couple of shot attempts that it looked a little bit like, I don't know what else to do here. I'm just going to kind of throw it up, you know? And so he was better. What was it? In the second quarter, he finally started getting it going a little bit. I mean, he ended up with 18 points. He just did it on 19 shots. So, and again, in fairness to Reed, I didn't see the, here's what I'm holding against him. We were an hour late to supper because he was putting on a show in Cox Pavilion.
Yeah, that was my fault. I made us very late for game theory team dinner because I was just like, yeah, I'm not missing Reed. Just go nuts in the third quarter here right now.
Yeah.
That was a fun game. That was honestly like, that is one of the best games I've seen. I saw someone play at Summer League.
Sure.
That first game against the Clippers. That's why like I didn't care as much about the second game because that first game, he was a monster. Like he completely took over that game and like tried to bring them back and was pretty impressive. And again, like seriously, even the box score says it, like 28-8, 4-4-3. Like, what are we doing? It was absurd. And he should have had like 10 assists in that game. He was awesome.
Yep.
Let's go to the Pistons next. So okay. I thought Ron Holland was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Like I thought that he showed growth in all of the exact ways that I really hoped that Ron Holland would show growth in his second year of Summer League. You look at the raw numbers, 22, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 4 steals, obviously turned the ball over a bit. But I think that he looks more physical even now. Like I think he's always been way bigger than what people think. Like he's thicker, like he's 225 pounds, but like he looks even more like physically built and strong now than what we saw. I'll kind of give you the floor on the jump shot because I'm just really interested to hear what you have to say about that, because he obviously drilled a significant number of shots. Like he, went 4 threes in the first game against the Knicks, then 2 threes against the Rockets, then went 1 of 4. Really, like the Knicks game is the one that people are holding up as like this great, moment. But honestly, like mechanically, I thought the shot looked cleaner more than anything, which gives me hope that even if it might be a little bit streaky early on, maybe he is a guy that will continue to grow as a jump shooter overall.
That was the biggest thing. Like, at the end of the day, that was the biggest thing for Ron Holland, was the jumper looked fluid. Like, he hit one in that Knicks game. It's like an ISO between the legs, behind the back, step back in the corner. And even in the video breakdown I did, so if guys want more on this, I have 12 minutes on Ron Holland Summer League over on the Substack. Colby Jones breakdown coming tomorrow for anybody who's a Colby Jones fan out there now that he's on a two-way with Detroit. But I was like, this one doesn't matter to me. I don't care that Ron Holland made that one. What I liked was Ron Holland corner catch and shoot three on a swing, and a Ron Holland ball screen. They go under and confuse whether they want to go under and switch or go under and get back, and then knocks that one down off the dribble. And then he had some really, I don't think the assist to turnover numbers, like you mentioned this with Reed just now, Detroit's summer league team was better than Houston's, but he had like 3 or 4 really nice passing decisions in the Knicks game. Like, one, Tolu Smith is standing out of bounds when he catches it. One, they drop it. One, like, the turnover numbers are fair. The assist numbers are not. I thought his creation was better. If I would say there was 2 consistency things that still showed up, some of the decision making, and then the off the ball defense, man. Like, he just got to get so much more consistent off the ball defensively, not ball watching, making rotational rebounds, stuff like that. But all in all, I was very encouraged with Ron Holland.
I would agree. I thought that Knicks game, again, that might have been, I don't know if it was the best game I saw anybody play at Summer League. It was probably in the top 5 overall. Like, he was just a joke in that game against the Knicks. And then I thought that, like, the Ron Holland versus Terrence Shannon show was really fun in the third game against the Wolves. The Rockets, like, they had more bodies, like Cam Matthews and Kevon Harris and some of those guys, to be able to, like, body him a little bit more and, like, make life just, like, slightly harder on his drives. But he was still, just awesome in that game too. Like, everything that I saw from Ron Holland was that he's taking the right steps, and that I mean, look, I had him all rookie last year. I think I had him as my 10th all rookie guy last year. So, he played, if he didn't play every game, he played damn near every game last year.
You know why he didn't play a game? He got suspended, or else he would have played.
That's right. Yeah.
81 games, played 15 minutes a night.
Yeah. Like, he looks like a guy that's even ready to take another step forward, I think, for them.
I would agree.
And be like in that 20 to 25 minute a night range to me.
Yeah, and they obviously moved out Simone Fontecchio in the Duncan Robinson. So, like, there's going to be time for him there. We mentioned Daniss Jenkins. I thought Daniss Jenkins was awesome.
So good.
It starts defensively for me with Daniss. Like, obviously there's limitations because of the size, but I think like, going back to last Summer League, when I didn't really realize or know who he was coming into Summer League, his ball screen navigation is really good. And then he kind of ran the show offensively, but the biggest
thing,
look at
you not grinding Iona basketball tape.
I know, it's very
from
disrespectful.
2 years ago. It's unbelievable.
Very disrespectful of me. He made shots, Sam, at Summer League, and it was encouraging. Like, I call him a perfect two-way point guard for your organization, because he can be the 5th or 6th guard on the big team, and he goes down and does everything you want him to do with your G League program.
Do you think he might be a little bit more than that?
So this is where I'm trying not to get out in front of my skis with Summer League stuff.
Yeah.
I would be, if it came out tomorrow. I actually thought this may be a thing today whenever they signed Colby Jones. And it ended up being Ron Harper Jr. But if he ends up on the 15-man as the 5th guard, I would be perfectly happy. Like the 5th, 6th guard with Marcus Sass or whatever. Like, yeah. I think he has played himself into, if he is on a standard contract this season, it is perfectly reasonable. Some fans have gone a little too far, in my opinion, saying like true backup point guard. I think that's a little bit rich now.
No, yeah, he's definitely not that.
But if he's like your 11th, I told someone the other day, 11th to 15th man on your roster, like wherever that, I think that's reasonable right now based off what I've seen.
And look, like I had Daniss like at the bottom of my top 100. Like I had some real questions about how exactly it was going to translate when he finished that year at St. John's, right? I just like wasn't totally sure what it was going to look like with the shot and with everything like that. he looks like a real player to me. Like he looks like a real NBA player to me every time I watch him. The defense, the comfort as a passer, the fact that he does handle ball pressure well. I kind of think that I agree with you. I think like 11 to 15th man on the roster feels right for Daniss Jenkins.
Yeah. And I'll tell you this, like I was most excited to watch Chaz, obviously Ron, like Bobi Klintman was the guy I had the biggest eyes on going into summer league. Like Daniss wasn't that. And Bobi
that was a total roller coaster of an event for Bobi.
Oh, it wasn't good. Like I've been somewhat negative on his summer league, which is it's frustrating because a lot of people thought he was the backup 4 after the offseason they've had thus far. So
yeah, no way. No way. Like
it's a little bit of the completely different players and situations and all of that, but similar to like what we said with Dillingham coming out of summer league, I am definitely not coming out of summer league saying like, hey, I am fully confident he's going to fill this role. Like I'm a little bit more like, they may want to go sign Trey Lyles or Chris Boucher or somebody like that.
I think that they should. Honestly, is my take. Knick's game I thought was pretty okay, especially in the first half. I thought he played pretty well there. Played really well in the Heat game too. I didn't watch that. Was that like as good as the box score says? He had 20 and 4 in that game.
Yeah, I mean he made shots in that game, so
okay. I think 3 threes. So
I think that's the one I actually did the video breakdown for, and like I still wasn't
had worries.
Like, like defense, consistency. The passing is fun, but I don't know how much that gets him on the floor for his role. So
yeah, I didn't love him in the Rockets game, and I didn't love him in the Timberwolves game. So, that'll be. I thought Daniss was clearly their second best guy. Like he was the guy that popped for me.
I agree.
Much more than what Bobi did. Yep. Okay. Where do you want to go next? Because
I think we should go to the Lakers. Because I know we need to talk about one of those.
Probably need to talk about 2 of them to be
well.
frank.
We definitely 2 of them, but like we've hinted about talking about one of them. So
let's talk about Knecht.
Yep.
This was about as unimpressive a summer league as you could have seen for Dalton Knecht. And, similarly to what we just spoke about with Terrence Shannon, 24 years old, about to turn 25, you would have expected him to like really come in and like be a dude, right? Yep. And Terrence did it. Dalton just turned 24 earlier this year. I would have expected him to be like ready to come in and just be a dude at summer league. And he was absolutely not that. I thought he was like really bad in Vegas. Honestly, he played 3 games and like I didn't think he played well in any of them, to be honest with you.
Agreed.
And I have some real worries on where this is going.
Yeah, I'm with you. Listen, you won't find like I will hold this receipt and people will hold it over me, and rightfully so. Like I had big hopes. I thought this was a great pick for the Lakers 12 months ago. I thought he looked
great early in the year last year too.
And the defense is not developing in a way that you want to see. We never would consider him going to be a plus defender. We knew he was going to be a negative defender stepping in, Sam. I don't know that I've seen any growth. Like I watch him play on the defensive end and the notes are essentially exactly the same. And that's worrisome. Again, for a kid who I thought would slowly figure it out and continue to develop and all of that, it just hasn't happened. And then when you are that defensively, then the offense is always got to be on. Like there's so much pressure for the offense to just be ridiculous, right? And unfortunately, it wasn't. So it's concerning.
I think that if I was looking at their rotation right now, I would have him 12th in there. And like, again, he's like a 24-year-old, second year player. Like he is expected to come in and be a guy.
Yeah. The idea was he would be able to play, right? Like,
yeah. And like, I thought Cole Swider looked better than he did at summer league, just point blank. Like they play a very similar role. And I thought Cole Swider was better than he was.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
and If you can't beat out Cole Swider, like all due respect to Cole, who's like carved out like a potential to make a shit ton of money overseas at the very least. Yeah, man, I don't know. And we should move to talk about Bronny now too. Like, I think Bronny keeps getting better. Like, I'm just going to be look, I don't think he's a rotation player next year by any stretch of the imagination. Like, I would have him, in that 12 to 13 bucket right now in terms of, where he sits in the hierarchy. But I thought he looked pretty good in Vegas. Like, he turned the ball over a ton, and he's definitely not a point guard. But I thought he looked more comfortable with the ball. Like, dribbling has always been his, Achilles heel to me. He's just not the ball handler he needs to be for his size at, somewhere between 6'2" and 6'3". But I thought that he looked more comfortable with the ball. I thought that he got to spots like a little bit more consistently. It really is going to come down to like, when does he shoot the ball? I think he will shoot the ball. He's not a rotation player right now, I don't think. But I can now see a world, given the fact that he is 20 years old, doesn't turn 21 until October. I can see a world where he gets to that point.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to make shots. I'm with you. I still have just never watched him play and thought point guard. It's more of like this off ball, knock down shots, cut, be athletic, and then really, really guard defensively. And I think that's where I push back at times as well. Like, I think people think Bronny could come into the NBA and be all NBA level defense. And like, I don't think he's that level of defender.
I'm going to be honest. Like, I thought the off ball defense stuff was actually like kind of bad at Summer League.
Yeah, and some of the on-ball even, like, everybody will immediately throw the Cooper flag clips at us, and, like, fine. I will also show you one where he gives up a straight line because he lets the offensive player refuse the ball screen. I think it was Ryan Nembhard. And so it's just like, I'm not saying he's bad. I'm not trying to, crap on Bronny. I'm just saying that it's not like he's unreal first-team All-NBA defense, so it doesn't matter if the offense isn't very good. Like, this is why the offense has to matter, because the defense is going to be good. It's probably going to be a positive, but at the end of the day, it's not that level, and he still has limitations based on size. So you've got to do something offensively, and if you're not a true point guard in terms of your ability to dribble and make decisions, then you got to really make shots. And so I'm with you. Like, I was fine with it. Like, good, improvement, growth, great. He's still young, but nowhere am I penciling him into the Lakers rotation right now.
If I made you pick who you're more excited about as a Lakers fan, you're not a Lakers fan, but if you were, would you be more excited moving forward about Bronny or Dalton Knecht? I'm not joking. I think it'd be Bronny right now.
No, I can't do that to Dalton. Not yet.
I think it would be Bronny for me right now. Dalton has like a real skill, because I do think he is like a real shooter at the very least.
Yeah.
And I don't totally know what Bronny's like real genuine NBA skill is right now, because he's not quite there yet defensively. He's not quite a good enough shooter. But I kind of just buy the athleticism and like where he is in his developmental curve a little bit more, I think, right now.
Listen, it's fair. I just like, I'm not quitting on Dalton yet. I know you're not quitting on Dalton. Like but you're choosing one or the other. Like, I understand the question. I will stay with Dalton right now.
Yeah. Like, I think the odds are that, like, if you gave me like an expected value equation, I think I would say for these two players, like if you made me add the percentages that they're a rotation player at some point up, I don't think it would equal 1 for me, but I think that Bronny's a little bit higher on that standpoint right now for me than what Dalton is at the end of the day. So yeah, I'm interested to see where this goes for those guys.
Sure. No, it's definitely it's fascinating for sure. There's no question about it.
Yeah, Dalton just really doesn't think the game defensively in the way he has to.
Well, and here's the thing, Sam. It's kind of like when we talk about court mapping, we only talk about it offensively and not enough defensively. And I've tried to push that a little bit. And then we talk about like defensively, like reading, like I've sat courtside at a Lakers game, not in LA. And I've watched JJ Redick get pissed because Dalton messed up a play. And we've all seen it's both ends of the floor. It's like not running. Like we saw the one where he like got pissed because he was yelling at him like that play was for you and Dalton didn't run it right. And so like it's both ends of the floor where he's just got to put a little bit more into that. So
yeah. Okay. Let's go to Charlotte's guys next because they had a top 10 pick that played. What'd you think of Salaun?
Fine. Like, is okay. What do you play? 3 games. Like I still like the shot is kind of whatever. I know he's a confident player. I know he can rebound. It was like what he scored 20 in the Utah game.
He scored 20 in the Utah game. It was like a weird 20 to me, honestly. That game was like no defense, whatsoever ever. So it was interesting. It was very interesting to watch Salaun, I thought, at Summer League.
Yeah, he's another one we here felt like it was going to take some time, and I still very much feel that way, that it's going to take him some time.
I think that's where I'm at. Like, he was always a project. He is still 19 years old.
Yeah.
Like, I thought he showed real growth at Summer League. I think he will probably be back at Summer League next year if you made me bet right now.
So you talk about rotations. Is he in their 10-man rotation in Charlotte when healthy?
So they do have like some front court-ish spots available, but I think my answer would be no.
They have center
if Grant
spots.
Williams is
There you go.
If Grant Williams is like fully healthy, then I think the answer is no.
Yeah.
But
okay.
Like LaMelo, Colin Sexton, then you have Concanipple, then you have Miles Bridges, Brandon Miller, you have Trey Mann, you have Josh Green and Grant Williams. That's 8.
Liam, and then a backup center.
Yeah, like Mason Plum or Diabate is definitely going to play, I think. Like I think there's a decent chance Diabate is their starter, to be honest with you. So like Diabate and then like one of Kalkbrenner or Plumlee, that's 10. Like, yeah, I think I'd say no, he's not.
I mean, because my thing with Salaun, like he's very pigeonholed for me into like a 4. Like he kind of has to play that spot. There's not like, oh, maybe he can play a little 2, a little 3, maybe Moonlight as the 4. Like Miles Bridges, and like you said, if Grant Williams is back and go, like there are your 4s. So it'll be interesting to see how they navigate through that. And this is okay. I didn't agree with the pick at the time. It is what it is. We'll find out. That was never going to be predicated on what he looked like in these first couple years. I did not have high expectations for his first couple years in the league.
So KJ Simpson made all Summer League. What did you think of KJ?
Yeah, he's a guy that can really score the basketball and did so at Summer League. What he play 6 games, play all 6 for them. Is that right? Yeah. Average 16. Didn't shoot it from 3 extremely well. But was able to create for teammates. 2-to-1 assist to turnover ratio in Summer League is really stand out. And this is a guard that has always rebounded the ball well. We saw that as well in Summer League. So again, like interesting spot for KJ whenever you look at, we outlined their backcourt. They signed Mann to an extension. Like I would assume like he's probably going to get the opportunity. Well, I guess I shouldn't assume that. Maybe he gets the opportunity over Nick Smith Jr. But
I would think he gets the opportunity over Nick Smith Jr.
Yeah.
I do think he's better than him right now.
Yeah, the only reason I was hesitated, I guess, is, KJ's still just on a 2-way. But yeah, I think it was a good performance from him in Summer League.
I got very frustrated watching KJ Simpson.
Okay.
To be honest with you, because I felt like it was very domineering on the ball and it was a lot of dribbling. it was a real lot of dribbling. And like there were possessions where like it just felt like guys were getting like frozen out. Like other guys on the team and that KJ was just like kind of doing his thing. He is really good at that. Like he is a very capable ball handler and is, somebody that I think could develop into a backup point guard. I didn't feel like the process was always there, but like he is super productive and is a guy who can like really get buckets and can like when he is driving and kicking and passing, like he does make the right decision. It just feels like he is very much like dribbling the air out of the ball at times in a way that was frustrating.
Yeah.
But skilled player that could be a backup point guard, like that wouldn't blow my mind at some point. But I think that like two-way is the right level for him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
PJ Hall played on this summer league team and got immediately signed by the Memphis Grizzlies. When PJ was in the game, so first and foremost, when we were sitting there watching the Denver game, PJ Hall rolls into the arena to go see his former teammates in Denver. Awesome. Like seems like a great dude. Like to be clear. And I think you've met PJ.
I've met PJ, just like shook his hand, said hello, but I've been around him and like literally seems like one of the nicest dudes. Like just watching him interact, not just with me, but other people in the vicinity was like, this kid just like such a nice kid.
Yeah. He comes in rocking a old school Dale Earnhardt.
You love this
t-shirt. It's an incredible t-shirt. Old school Dale Earnhardt, like black and red t-shirt. Just in the stands, like watching the game, like not courtside, just there to see his boys. Yep. Like if that doesn't tell you everything you need to know about that dude, like I'm all about it. Shout out PJ Hall. PJ Hall, Memphis Grizzly now. I thought PJ was probably the best unsigned big at Summer League, to be honest. And I thought that he showed that in the minutes he played in Charlotte with their Summer League team. And I was just really, really impressed with him.
Yeah, plays extremely hard, rebounds the ball, physical, all of those things. Makes sense why you'd want him in his organization, especially when you, like we just talked about, maybe get some of the other intel on him as well. So love that he's getting a chance.
Speaking of Denver, let's talk about DaRon Holmes. We got to see DaRon Holmes back at Summer League, back at the scene of the crime, Cox Pavilion, where he tore his Achilles last year, unfortunately. I would say I am much more positive on DaRon Holmes than negative, for sure. I thought the fact that he was able to make such an impact with his skill level, just being able to knock down shots from three. Like he hit a three in every game that he played at Summer League, right? Shot 42% from three on 5 attempts per game. I thought he was a really impactful rebounder. That got better as the event went on. Like he had that monster game against the Clippers at the end, obviously, where he had like 19, 17, and 5. I do worry a little bit about like the body. Like this is where we talk about the balancing act of the frames, right? So when he was a freshman at Dayton, he was like super thin and lithe and like was a wild athlete. Like he was everywhere athletically. Then as a sophomore at Dayton, he added weight and like added bulk and like slowed down and got like a little bit more robotic with his movement. As a junior, he lost a little bit of that weight, got again much more like fluid athletically. Then last year suffers the Achilles. This year, I think comes back like a little bit thicker and heavier. And I do want to acknowledge the fact we're a year removed from an Achilles injury. And, he's probably moving a little bit slower than what is anticipated. Right. But yeah, like the movement and like that balancing act with his frame is going to be really interesting, I think, for him.
And to be clear, it is like, I think it's all muscle. Like, it's not like he just put on bad weight.
Like no. Yeah. He's like jacked right now.
Funny story. The Denver Nuggets were literally on the Southwest flight that Randy and I took out of Denver. And yes, I do have to drive 4.5 hours and fly out of Denver. And yes, we almost missed it because of road construction in 2 different spots. But as soon as we walk up, I see DaRon Holmes. I'm like, oh my God, like he is jacked. Like you can tell there's a difference in his body. So I am with you. We had this discussion sitting there watching it live, like, okay, did it go a little bit too far? Or does he at least need to just figure out the movement at that weight and that strength? Because I do think that strength helps him. I think one reason why he had 2 double-digit rebound games, including one with 17, is because he has that physical build and is able to take contact and all of that. My biggest overwhelming takeaway was the three-point shooting. I thought the jumper looked very fluid and smooth, and it looked really good. I think what you said about the rebounding getting better each game was also a huge takeaway for me. Minnesota kind of beat him up, and he didn't handle the physicality on the boards very well. And then he immediately responded with 11 against a Raptors team that's just like all over the place and was playing big. And then he had a double-double by the second quarter in the Clippers game. So I think you saw a guy who hadn't played organized refereed basketball in 12 months come out and get more comfortable with each game.
Yeah, I agree. One guy we didn't shout out in the rookies show was Curtis Jones.
Yeah, good for him.
Curtis Jones was really fun.
Yeah,
for the Nuggets as well.
Earned a two-way. I mean,
yeah, like well deserved two-way.
100%. Yeah, out of Iowa State, a guy that came off the bench at times for Iowa State. I mean, I think the only times he didn't was if one of the starters were beat up or something. I think maybe Kyshawn missed some games, whatever it was, but really scored the ball well. They had him playing on ball a little bit. Like, I don't think that's ultimately his role, but did a decent job. Like, filled it up because that's what Curtis Jones can absolutely do.
We haven't talked about Toronto yet.
Oh, yeah.
Toronto has a million of these guys.
Yes.
I thought AJ Lawson was really impressive.
Really good. Sam.
Like I
really
was
good.
like genuinely quite impressed with Lawson. He is still only 25 years old, like just turned 25. Like he's been around for a while because he declared from high school early and then went to South Carolina and was gone after 2 years. But I thought he was genuinely really impressive at Summer League and looks like he might be an NBA player, actually.
He came off the bench for their Summer League team, Sam.
Yeah, like I'm sure that's not the guys that like Toronto fans want us to talk, or that's not the main guy that Toronto fans want us to talk about. Jacoby Walter was their first round pick last year. I thought looked like a scoring guard, looked like a scoring guard at this level is supposed to look, just didn't shoot it well at the end of the day. But like the fact that he got to his spots and like had, 16 points a game shooting as terribly as he did from three, I thought was actually like kind of a positive. Because I do think Jacoby's going to shoot the ball. I'm not that worried about that.
Yeah, I think what you saw from him was like the defensive aspect of it as well. Like I want to quickly just mention, like this Toronto team played. I feel like this Toronto of any team I watched, like the way they played stood out to me more than anybody else at Summer League, especially defensively. Like they were running around, playing aggressive.
Well, what did we talk about on the last episode too? We talked about like our biggest takeaway, or at least my biggest takeaway, and I thought you kind of agreed with it.
The
was
stuff, yeah.
Like teams are pressuring full court more consistently, right? Like that's going to be, I think, something we see more in the NBA stylistically as next season goes. I think that in general, teams are going to be aggressive pressuring full court, and this Raptors team, to your point, is built to do that.
Yeah, I mean, because they have Jamal Shead, who's probably as good as anybody at Summer League to do that. And then they also, in his non-minutes, they had Chucky Hepburn doing it. And then on the wing, you have Jacoby doing it and Elijah Martin in some minutes. Like, this is a team, they ended up losing to Sacramento is why they don't make it into, like, I don't spend a whole lot of time thinking about this, but I would have guessed this was a team that was going to be, playing for the championship at Summer League. I mean, just when you look up and down the roster, because they're bigs, even though they played two bigs a lot, a couple of those guys can really move as well. So, but yeah, I thought Jacoby, he went on a run in the Nuggets game where like you saw the idea of him when he was making shots along with what he was doing defensively.
Yep. No, I thought that the ball pressure thing with the Raptors is such a good point. It's very clear that they're going to do this next year.
Yeah.
Like that they're going to be a hyper aggressive ball pressure team. Jamal Shead, Elijah Martin, Chucky Hepburn, like those three guys like might do this a little bit. Like they might actually play, between them, 800, 900 minutes between those three guys, let's call it. Jamal Shead, I think, actually played more than that, like in the NBA this year, played more than 900 minutes, I would bet. Looking through, he played 1,500. So like maybe it's that those guys play like 2,000 minutes together next year between the three of them, and like just really get after teams and try to make life absolutely miserable for the opposition. I thought Shed just continued to look like he always does, right? Yeah. Just an elite level defender, like truly one of the best defensive prospects I've ever evaluated in the backcourt. And, offensively can really pass it. I thought the scoring looked a little bit better. He just can't shoot is the problem right now. If he ever shoots it, he's like a real impact guy that I desperately want on my team if I was running a team. But, until then, he might be more of like a third guard, borderline backup guard.
Yeah, no, I agree. Saw all the same things from him. Just absolutely love what he does defensively, and then the way he can kind of pressure your team on the offensive end.
Yep. Jameson Battle continues to be a guy that can shoot it. He absolutely shoots the ball, which is useful. Again, like I mentioned Shamshay on the last show, I'm not really a Shamshay guy. Like people thought he looked better on defense, I guess. I didn't see that at all, to be honest with you. I thought that he was way out of position, fairly regularly defensively. And just doesn't, I don't love the hands at the end of the day. I don't think he catches the ball well enough to be able to consistently make an impact as a rim runner in the way that he's going to have to make an impact. Castleton was really bad. Mobo played 4 games. That'd be the other one. I thought the passing, had a couple of high level passes that I saw, but it's kind of in between that 4-5 a little bit positionally, and I don't totally know what to do with him yet.
Yeah, it was we talked about this whenever we talked about CMB, and just terms of that rotation where they were somewhat consistently playing some of the games I watched anyway, 2 of those 4 guys at all times, like Mobo with Castleton and then CMB with Shamshi, and then, some combination of that stuff. And, that's just that's a lot of size and non-shooting, especially whenever, someone like Shed also doesn't shoot it. So that did, present some interesting issues for them, I guess, offensively. I wasn't blown away by any of those bigs.
Next guy we have to hit is David Jones Garcia with San Antonio.
Yeah.
He played, I believe, 8 games of Summer League basketball, averaged 22 points on 52, 51, 88, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal. Was very impactful on the game. It's David Jones has always been an interesting guy to me. He's always been very clearly skilled enough to play in the NBA. He just doesn't really do the things off the ball that you need. Everything he does is kind of on the ball, and he shoots it well enough off the ball, I should say that, but he does like to dribble the ball, and he does like to drive, and I think he's getting better at making the right reads, which is interesting. And he still doesn't turn 24 until November. Hilariously, he's younger than Dalton Knecht. He's younger than a few of these other guys. I think has earned a 2-way with San Antonio. I don't have a problem with them putting him on a 2-way. I just don't know if he is quite. He's definitely skilled enough to play in the NBA. I don't know if he plays off the ball when he's not the focal point well enough to be an NBA guy. He might be a guy that is a true superstar in Europe to me. Not just I was having this conversation with somebody I know that runs a EuroLeague team a couple of days ago. There are guys that are better off being the 15th, 14th, 13th man on an NBA roster, because their approach is that they always stay ready and they're always so hungry, and they can come in and just slot into a role and play off of stars a little bit better. And there are guys that are just better off being EuroLeague superstars and would come in and just dominate that level, because they're just physically capable of it, and they're skilled and they play really well on the ball, but they're not quite good enough to play on the ball in the NBA. Right? That level is so high. I wonder if David Jones Garcia is one of those guys that's just truly elite, is a EuroLeague guy, as opposed to being just a high level NBA guy, but he was awesome at summer league and like very clearly has earned a two-way and earned a chance.
Yeah, I agree with all of that, Sam. I always think about this from a team building perspective. Like, what is the advantage to San Antonio? Like, is this truly a lottery ticket, right? Like, is this truly like maybe he puts everything else together? The scoring is so good, he eventually becomes a 6-man bucket getter for us. Or is it like, hey, we need somebody to keep our G League games competitive and he can really score the basketball? Like I always wonder about that because like, I think it's easy for me to say this. It's like, well, I would just fill out the back end of my roster in 2 ways with like 3-and-D wings because I always need those and I always want to make sure I have enough. Like
the one thing you always need on a two-way is like a great point guard, like a Daniss Jenkins,
or a Daniss Jenkins, or maybe a fourth big who presents does things exactly the way you want. Like we didn't talk about him, but I made an argument for why I think Tolu Smith is the perfect G League big for the Motor City Cruise and the Pistons because of how he plays and what he can do, and made no argument for him to be on the NBA roster. It's just this archetype of player is interesting to me on a two-way. I would just be interested to know what an NBA team's process was. Is it literally like, hey, we're going to reward you for being awesome at Summer League? What is the long-term play with a David Jones-Garcia type of player? Is it just simply that talent? Is it we really think we can develop into a 6-man, or like you've talked about, develop more some of the off the ball, some of the defense, some of that stuff? It's just really fascinating to me what the process behind all of this is, but there's no doubt the way he scored the ball at Summer League. He was awesome.
Yeah, like I'm still like pretty firmly on like Riley Minnick's island, right? Like,
sure. Yeah.
I think he's a restricted free agent, like with a two-way designation right now. I think Riley Minnick is good at basketball. And I think if you made me like say, like, I think that those two are like 50-50 to me in terms of like who I think is a better NBA bet, Minnick or David Jones-Garcia, despite the fact that David Jones-Garcia is like ostensibly a more skilled skilled basketball player than Riley Minnick. It's just that Minnick is like 6'8" and moves super well off the ball and like really knows how to relocate and play off of others. And like, it's just like an easier fit kind of.
Yeah, no, I mean, and shoots the ball extremely well. Like in all fairness to Riley Minnick, and David Jones-Garcia is getting all the love he deserves, but I mean, Riley Minnick had a good stretch of games as well.
Had a game winner against the Jazz.
Yeah, shot 45% from 3 throughout the whole thing. So.
Okay, next team here to run through. Let's see. We're kind of coming up near the end of this thing. So funniest moment I saw at Summer League is definitely Jordan Walsh. Were you in the gym for this?
I guess not.
So Jordan Walsh, I think like gets scored on by Pele Larson, gets super frustrated, then comes down, like chucks a shot, misses it, starting to like, you can see it start to turn for him a little bit. And he'd already been teed up once in the game on like I think it was like a, double technical on somebody. And Jordan Walsh, like is, Pele Larson's dribbling the ball up the court, and like just has him on his hip, is just trying to bother him. Jordan Walsh just shoves Pele Larson directly into Brad Stevens, Mike Zaire, and Dave Lewin, like sitting courtside for the Celtics. That's their president of basketball operations and two assistant general managers. And like just the look I saw on Stevens's face after he did it was just like, what is going on here? Like, what's happening? Like just shoved him and then gave like a full scale Ric Flair afterward, like a woo right in Pele Larson's face. Pele Larson gets up and he's like, what the fuck are we doing here? Like, why did you just shove me? Immediately gets ejected from the Summer League game. It was the funniest thing I saw at a Summer League game by far.
Amazing. Are we going to talk about Jordan now?
We can. I just wanted to note it.
Oh, okay. I was like, because Pelle Larsson or Jordan Walsh, and then Shireman on the Celtics as well. I thought Jordan Walsh made shots. I thought the off-ball defense, the game I watched, was not good at all. Continued to make off-ball mistakes.
Yeah.
But he did make shots. He shot the ball well. And Shireman did not make shots, which was like he showed the rest of his skill level, like really passed the ball.
Agree.
And showed that for people who like didn't know he had that in his bag, but man, shot the ball really poor.
Yep. Celtics Summer League team was like kind of bizarre to me, honestly. Like the Kenny Lofton experience.
Oh.
I mean, I told you throughout, like that was driving me insane.
Insane.
Truly, absolutely was losing my mind watching Kenny Lofton like bring the ball up the court and then like not pass the ball, and like that dude is just like nowhere near an NBA player to me. I'm sorry.
No.
Baylor really passed the ball at a super high level, man.
Yeah.
Like he was awesome making plays. I thought Charles Bassey in the 3 games he played was really good. Like I might have interest in signing him, honestly. If I was Boston, like I would really take a look at that. I mean, like I thought Jalen Bridges like played pretty okay defensively and knocked in some shots in the games that I saw. I don't know what he finished from 3, 30% from 3. So like maybe didn't make enough of them, but yeah, like I don't know that any of the Boston guys like super impressed me, but I thought that some of them were impressive enough.
Sure.
In fact, I would say that's a lie. Like I would say that none of the Boston guys like super impressed me, I guess is just where I would leave it.
Yeah, I'm fair with that. We probably need to get your guy out. You want to go to him next?
Well, I was going to say Miami. Do you want to talk about them?
Yeah, no, Miami. Yep, definitely need to talk about
just because we just mentioned them. I thought Pelle Larsson looked really good at Summer League, and I thought
that's what I was going to say. He looked good. Yeah.
Yeah, Pelle Larsson looked, quite solid in my opinion. 18 points in Vegas, 4 assists per game, turned the ball over a ton. They had him handling the ball quite a bit, but I thought he looked like he might be a rotation player at some point.
Yeah, I've never been the biggest Pelle Larsson guy, but he continued to flash and make plays on both ends of the court, had some nice point of attack possessions, kind of filled up the box score. I came away intrigued a little bit more. And again, a guy that played a little bit last year with the Heat, so I liked what he showed.
Yeah, Pelle Larsson last year played 780 minutes for the Heat, so like looked the way that he should at Summer League. And Kalel Ware, like I know that like Kalel's biggest thing was the the SPO thing where he's got to do the right things or whatever. I mean, it's always been the thing with Kalel. I think he landed in the right spot to consistently do that. Went for 17 and 10. I thought looked like Kalel Ware. Like I don't, part of Kalel's thing is always going to be the service he gets is like from his guards and things like that. And, I thought that he, did what he was supposed to do at Summer League. I maybe would have liked to see like a little bit more activity defensively, but yeah, I mean, I'm not going to think twice. He played 1 million minutes as a rookie last year. It was fine.
Yeah.
And then the last guy I do want to shout out is Eric Stevenson. In the midst of all of the Jordan Walsh things that were happening in that game, Eric Stevenson's always ready for a scrap, man. That dude, don't mess with Eric Stevenson. That's all I have to say. You will. He is the ultimate like fuck around and find out guy in the G League.
50% from 3, shot the ball well too.
Yeah, he's like he's awesome. Like he's a real G League dude, and he's a interesting player at least. Did you have someone else that you wanted to talk about that you were about to bring up?
No, I was going to let you talk about Cam.
Oh yeah, we should talk about my guy, Cam Spencer.
I do not have notes on him because my note says Sam's got it. So you will talk about Cam Spencer.
I thought he looked great. He averaged 18 points at Summer League with 4 rebounds and 3.5 assists and shot the shit out of the ball and did everything that you expect Cam Spencer to do. Got rewarded with a contract that has 3 fully guaranteed years. I am always gonna buy in to the Cam Spencer experience.
No, I mean, you've been pitching it for a while and been behind it, and he's, like you said, I think the coolest thing and one reason like we absolutely need to talk about is like he played him like these are when people like, does summer league matter? And even though like sometimes it's hard for me to watch, and like some guys I'm like, I have 1,000 minutes of NBA action. Why am I going to evaluate this? But this is why it matters for guys. And even the guys that we aren't hearing about that are probably getting signed overseas based off some of this play. You would know this stuff better than me. And this is one of those stories, David Jones-Garcia, a PJ Hall here with Cam Spencer, getting off a two-way and on a real multi-year contract is so huge for Cam Spencer, much deserved. And yeah, I mean, he backs it up whenever you know what you're going to get from him whenever he steps on the court.
Yeah, there's no fucking around with Cam Spencer. He is a dude, and he will fight and scrap every single time. Other guys on the Grizzlies, like Jalen Wells played like a bunch of games at Summer League. Looked solid to me. Looked like the 3-and-D guy that he is. Played a million minutes this year. I don't really care about him. Like, he's definitely an NBA player, probably a borderline starter in the NBA. I did not love Gigi Jackson's minutes, to be honest with you.
Yeah, especially in Vegas. He scored the ball really well in the Salt Lake games. I believe that was Salt Lake. Yeah. I don't know where I'm going with GG right now, Sam.
And like, he just doesn't do the non-scoring things, and that's the issue. Like, and that's always been my issue, and I'm still concerned.
Yeah. Yep.
We haven't talked about Oklahoma City yet.
Oh. AJ should not have played that many games. Is my
played
take on.
So many summer league games.
Listen, who am I to call out Sam Presti and the Oklahoma City Thunder organization? But after every game, I would text Schlecht and be like, "Hey, they're not playing him anymore, right? Like, this is the last one, right, Schlecht?" And of course, he didn't tell me anything, but it was he was too good for summer league. AJ Mitchell.
Way too good for summer league. Like, should not have played as many games as he did, like you said. I will say I understand to some extent why they did it, because I thought that his process as a passer was not amazing throughout summer league, and like getting him more reps and experience that way was smart and probably worthwhile. Did it need to be 5 or 6 games? Like, probably not. But by and large, I do understand like wanting to get him more reps. Speaking of like reps, like we saw Nikola Topic's reps for the first time. And I mean, just like fucking obscene passer.
Yeah. Real quick on AJ too. Like he had the injury where he missed time as a rookie as well. So maybe they were just trying to get some of that.
Yeah.
And same thing with Topic, right? Like we talked about like DaRon Holmes missing, his whole rookie year. Topic is in the same situation as him. And I think it was a little bit up and down. Some of the scoring, you can look at the box scores and see like, struggled at times. The jumper was a question coming out. We all know that. How does he get to the rim and pressure the defense in all sorts of situations? But when he does, we know that he's going to throw some really fun passes.
100%. Let's rapid fire through some other guys.
Can I mention one name that like people would throw at me there? Like, I feel like people came away really impressed by Chris Youngblood. Like, I feel like I heard people like bringing his name up throughout he played 8 games and shot 47% from 3, and that dude plays hard as hell. So
he shoots and plays hard. That has always been the kind of Chris Youngblood, kind of mentality, even going back to his time at, Kennesaw State when he was with Amir Abdur-Rahim, South Florida, and then Alabama this past season. Like, it's always been the Chris Youngblood experience. And I think he's probably not quite skilled enough to play in the NBA, but I don't know. He's like, do you think he's a 2-way? I think somebody should probably 2-way him.
I was going to say, I would be surprised if he doesn't end up on a 2-way still. So I don't know how many open spots there are out there, but if I was a team, I would be looking at it. So,
okay, let's rapid fire through a few guys. Kobe Buffkin, we got to see Kobe Buffkin minutes for the first time in a while. 19.5 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 turnovers. I thought that he looked pretty good, if I'm being honest. Like, the efficiency was not there. It's just that I thought he looked pretty solid.
Yeah, I thought he looked smooth. Like that's what he's always been, such a smooth player. To me, it just came out. Can he stay healthy? We talk about like the body and staying strong. Like, is that something he's gonna be able to do? Can he make shots? And then like my other thing is like, does he even end up in the Hawks rotation? Was like my big things coming out of summer league. But I was glad to see him healthy. Been a huge Buffkin guy.
Yeah, and like they won all their games that he played. Like I thought that particularly that game against the Heat, like he really dictated everything, like got to the line a shit ton. In the game against the Suns, he shot fucking miserably. And I still thought he made an impact like as a passer and playmaker in that game. And then the game against the Rockets, I thought that was probably the one where he like kind of, blended it the best outside of the turnovers. Like he was trying to make passing reads and trying to get things going. He just turned it over a bunch, but had 25, 6, and 3 in that game. Yeah, like I think Kobe might be something.
Yeah. I've definitely not sold my Buffkin stock yet until we see it a little more consistently on the NBA stage.
Modest played 2 games. I mean, this is just like a really great environment for Modest, like transition up and down, can use his, open court athleticism in a real way. I don't know that we learned anything new about Modest, to be honest, in terms of like ball handling or creation or anything like that. But it was a good environment for him to, get some run and play.
Yeah. And I mean, that's how Chicago plays, getting up and down, so that he's going to fit really well there. I struggled with Modest. He was another one that I just like, what am I going to write down in my notes that I don't already know about him? And I didn't think there was anything new that I felt the urge to present whenever we brought him up.
I thought Chris Livingston looked pretty good for the Bucks. Like had a few games where I thought he was like really, really impressive. Averaged 21 points, shot 49, 38, 72. Still only 21 years old, turns 22 here in October. I wonder if there might be something there still.
Yeah, sure. I will go the other way with that team. I don't know that this was a great summer league for Tyler Smith. He really struggled, and for a guy that in his second year, like he's a guy you would have liked to see perform a little bit better in a summer league situation, in an environment.
So the Kings had like a million of these guys. Isaac Jones, I believe, made second team all summer league. I thought he looked really like productive and solid. It's just like, I don't know what the role is totally.
Yeah. I've never been able to figure out exactly where he positions in with a rotation, with a roster.
He's like really stuck between the 4-5, doesn't really shoot it all that well. Did make a ton of free throws. Like I will say that, but maybe it is just like the athleticism, motor, and everything there just kind of works.
Sure.
Devin Carter, I thought, looked very Devin Carter-y. It's kind of the easiest way to put it. Super aggressive on defense. I thought he ran the show fairly well in the moments where he got an opportunity to do that. Him and Mason Jones kind of like split the point guard role a lot of the time. And then Isaiah Stevens would come off the bench and would handle it from there. I thought that, he just didn't shoot it well from 3, and that's going to be like the main swing skill for Devin. Yep. If he shoots it from 3, he's going to be like a serious impact player in the NBA because, man, I thought his defense was awesome at Summer League too.
Yeah, I think he's been a little bit forgot about just because of, how last year went and the injury and all of that to start the season. But, I mean, we talk about that Sacramento team all the time. They could use some defenders, but I don't know where his minutes end up coming from with that rotation, with the starting lineup. They bring in Schroeder, also obviously Keon Ellis. Like I wonder how many minutes, Devin gets in his second year here. But you mentioned it. The defense is impressive. Can you knock down shots consistently? Can you continue to make good decisions at the point on ball?
I just want to call out this Kings Summer League team again. I can't believe they didn't win. Just to be honest with you, they were 10 deep with guys that like I think are two-way guys. Like Isaac Jones, Nick Clifford, Devin Carter, or better, obviously. Max Reynaud, Mason Jones is certainly talented enough to be on a two-way. Daquan Plowden was on a two-way last year. Isaiah Stevens was on a two-way last year. Tavion Kinsey was on a two-way 2 years ago. Isaiah Crawford was on a two-way last year, and Dylan Cardwell is currently on a two-way. I don't know if I've ever seen a team deep enough, like as deep as that. for a summer league team.
And you forgot, is this the Elmore that's the TBT legend, or is this the little brother? This is
John
the little
Elmore.
brother.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out John Elmore, 33-year-old TBT legend. I love that he
Oh,
showed
no,
up to play.
No, this is this the older brother? Isn't there brothers?
Well, there's Ott and there's John.
Okay. Ott's the more of a legend, right?
Well, John is better.
Yeah,
at
John
basketball.
John is better at basketball. I feel like Ott is the more like
the TBT icon.
Because he looks like me, like bald and yeah.
Yeah, John went over last year and played in Turkey, and I don't know that it went super well. Just looking at the numbers for him, did he play at all in the G League last year too? Yeah, he did. He played for Stockton mostly in the G League last year. I'm guessing he went over to Turkey and then came back. Didn't go super well. Shout out John Elmore, 10, 5, and 4 in the G League last year. Just living his dream.
Love it.
I mean, like anybody else here.
I was going through my notes to see if I had notes on anybody.
Johnny Furphy like had that
yeah.
massive dunk that was fun.
Yeah, like his defense was very much a mixed bag. Like some possessions he did a great job getting his chest on. Sometimes then he like couldn't navigate a screen. Gave up a back door. Loved the size. Was trying to pressure the rim. He's athletic. He showed it on that play. Like, I wonder if this is a year, with the Halliburton injury, if Indiana like gives him a real chance. Because I think it is a style of play that could fit Furphy, getting out and running the floor. So
I thought Cam Christie looked better physically and looked stronger and more powerful. Daniel Garrett asks, how did Jaylen Tyson look? Just watched him. Has there ever been brothers drafted in the first round in the NFL and NBA because his brother Jordan Tyson has a shot next year? I don't know about that. I know that like Quentin Grimes and Tyler Myers were drafted both in the first round in the NBA and NHL. That would be one. I would guess there have to be brothers that have been drafted in the first round in both basketball and football. I'll look it up kind of while we're talking here. But what were your thoughts on Jaylen Tyson while I do that?
Yeah, so I watched one game in person. Like, I think the offense was fine. I thought he scored the ball well. I like Jaylen Tyson. It was like, was the shooting going to be real? How would it scale whenever he was kind of playing in a different role? And got a bunch of threes up, shot 7, 8, and 8 and 35%. So like you can kind of live with that. Got to the free throw line a lot in one game. We know he can pass and do that stuff. I will say that so what game would it have been that I watched? I think it was I think it was the Pacers game. And I saw Cavs fans like halfway through the game being like, oh, Tyson's too good for summer league, whatever. It's like, I actually think he's been pretty bad defensively. Like I think Furphy was like getting after him or somebody like that. So, it was fine. The offense was there. I'll be interested to see if he can crack the rotation with them. I'm assuming he probably still won't, but I thought he was fine.
The closest I'm seeing is Tony Douglas and Harry Douglas. Tony Douglas, the former Florida State point guard, got drafted like in the 20s, maybe 15 years ago. Then Harry Douglas, who was drafted in the 3rd round and had like a couple of really good years in Atlanta, if I remember correctly. Yeah, as a wide receiver. That's the closest I'm finding to this. Brothers drafted both in the 1st. Harry was drafted in the 3rd round though. So yeah, that's interesting. That's at least close. Let's see here. I mean, I don't know if I've got anybody else, man. Ryan Dunn is maybe one name. I thought Dunn played really well in the 3 games he played. Looked good on defense and shot the ball well.
Yep. Nope. I had that as well. Tried to do a little bit with his handle. The jumper looks rough, but I don't know if it's ever going to be the prettiest thing. If he can just, make them, obviously that's the most important thing for him. And then the defense always stands out with Ryan Dunn.
Oso I thought looked good too. That'd be another name. Oso's just like the box score is never gonna like really pop with Oso.
I thought he played faster than anybody else on the floor in the game I watched. Like just like his decisions, his movements going from here to here, like he just was processing and moving faster than everybody else.
Yeah, I think that's 100% it. Like he just moves, his brain goes faster than everybody else's does, like in the entire country. When he was in college, and it still remains that way to me. Like he just feels like he's thinking it at a different level. I think that's all I've got, really, Brice. I think we're good to call it there.
Yep, that works for me.
Okay. We went for 2 hours talking about players. Let's see if we've got some super chats here. Brice, have you watched the movie Collateral?
Collateral.
Where are we at? Where is the Michael Mann section up here? This one.
I think no, I have. I'm trying to refresh. I'm really bad about forgetting what happens in movies.
Yeah, like Tom Cruise is a hitman and has.
Oh no, yeah. We just watched. No, I remember this. Yeah, I've watched this for sure. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Let's see here. Did you like it? Is the better question.
No, I did. Yep.
Yeah, seems his speed. It is your speed, Brice. That is true.
Nope. Yeah, I remember now that Randy and I watched this. Yes. I mean, it was actually recently. Like I would say in the last 12 months, we found it and watched it. So.
Yeah, I probably made you watch this. This
Maybe.
What happened.
Yeah, probably.
I got the Steel book like a year ago. Okay, Gregory Mason. I know it's risky to read too much into Summer League, but historically, what does tend to be meaningful? Thank you guys for all your hard work. Shout out to Greg. I would say that just style tends to be more important than like the percentages that somebody makes. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like how is the guy playing? What style of play? Everything like that to me.
Yeah, I would agree with that. We've referenced this a few times. Like there's some, I can't tell you for sure who had them, but I've seen it a few different places. Like the most correlated box score stats, and some of them were even beyond that, but like percentage were actually the least correlated stats in regards to that. But like who was shooting a bunch of threes, even the stuff with like Dillingham in terms of like, how is he playing? What is the archetype? What is the role? Someone like DaRon Holmes, again, shooting that many threes and playing kind of the role he was playing. I think that's the stuff I try to take away. Do they look comfortable in that role? Do they look completely uncomfortable in that role? How does that fit into their team's rotation and roster? I think those are the biggest things you can take away.
Yep. Yeah, I think that's right. I don't really have anything to add to that. So our guy George here has been in the comments asking, can Con Knipple excel in the Hornets rotation? I think we talked about that on the last episode. Yes, we are big Con Knipple fans. I had Con, 3 or 4 on my board, something like that. Con's going to be a useful player this year, I think, for them.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we've talked a lot about how we like what that team did, what they added to their rotation in their organization. Even if the defense isn't as good or, neutral or what, like his shot making is going to be beneficial to that rotation.
And then can Ryan Nembhard be a quality rotation player? Not this year, but like maybe down the road. He's just small and like doesn't shoot it quite as well as you need to. So that's my worry with him.
I found a lot of people very excited about his play, and I do like how he runs the show and is under control and all of that. He was able to get
the first game.
Yeah, he's able to get to his mid-range, and I just found him to be extremely small and didn't come away as like I found people like talking about him like the Mavericks backup point guard, and I'm like I am not there. Him on a two-way 1,000. Yeah, him on a two-way 1,000%, but I'm going to be a little bit slower on like, hey, he's going to be in the Mavericks rotation or something.
I do think he thinks the game really well and has a chance to make it. It's going to be interesting to see if he does, though, because of the size and the shooting. Like the brain is there, like the basketball brain, the way he thinks the game, that's all going to be there. It's more, can he actually like shoot it and finish plays and like do things the way he has to do it on that side more than anything. Okay. Brice, tell the people where they can find your work. Tell the people what's going on.
Okay, good, because my computer's about to die because I didn't bring the charger in, so I was going to have Randy bring it, but I think we're good. At Motor City Hoops on Twitter, on Blue Sky, got the Substack. I wasn't joking. I will literally have a Colby Jones video breakdown tomorrow on the Substack, so if you're a Colby Jones fan out there, check that out. Pistons Pulse podcast, otherwise Game Theory podcast with the Sam Vecenie. Thank you guys so much. Subscribers continue to go up, Sam, even in the off season. We're still growing. I love it.
Yeah, we're closing in on 58,000 subscribers over on YouTube. We appreciate all of you guys immensely for coming to hang out and rock with us and have a good time watching this show. We will be back on Sunday. I think that's just going to be Andrew and I, because Brice gets to have a vacation week, which is thrilling. I have another show slated for Thursday as well with a good friend of the program, Adem Finkelstein. I'm saying this publicly so Adem can no longer back out. I'm kidding. Adem's truly the best. I love Adem. So that's the plan for next week. And remember, we kind of mentioned that after Summer League ended, we would be going to 2 times a week over the off season. So just keep that in mind. We will be 2 times a week. Don't quite expect the same cadence and everything is what we have had throughout the course of the season and throughout the course of the playoffs. But 2 times a week, we will be here no matter what, and we will be talking about basketball. Who knows? Maybe I'll bring on some fun guests as well, and eventually I'll go on vacation. I think that Andrew has a vacation slated as well at some point. So we have some fun things scheduled for the off season, though. Andrew and I went through and kind of created that over on, what was that? It was probably Tuesday or so. So really, really excited to kind of share that with you and get into some off season content. I think that's all I've got, though. So until next time, we'll talk soon. Bye.